So let us start the session, guys. So the main agenda for this session is to let you know that there is a data engineering with a Google Cloud Platform course is available. And nowadays there's a plenty of opportunities for the GCP data engineer, and how, if you wanted to grab those jobs, and how much years of experience that you need to have, and how do you plan the course, and how you can able to get a industry experience so that you can able to perform well in the interview, so that you can able to comfortably work in the company. So the main agenda for this course, for this particular seminar, is to let you know that there is a GCP data engineering course available. So I'm going to tell you guys. So we are going to talk about the agenda for session today is that we will talk about what is Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so that is I'm going to tell you first thing. And what is the course content? Okay, and after that I will tell you, if you wanted to get a job, so what kind of a projects that you guys have to focus on so that you get a job. Okay, so what kind of a projects that are currently available, and what kind of a projects that we are going to cover, so that comes under the projects covered and all of those things. And one more thing, I will also tell you how are the opportunities, so that how you guys can plan. For example, I am coming from a testing background, are you coming from a different backgrounds, right? So you have 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years of experience, and if you wanted to plan for GCP data engineer, if you wanted to plan for GCP data engineer role, so how you can able to plan, and how do you have to mold your current experience in such a way that you can go for GCP data engineer. So that is what we are going to cover. And I will also tell you about the basic things about the Google Cloud Platform as well. And I will also tell you the difference between the GCP versus Azure versus AWS. Okay, so that so why only GCP, why not Azure, and why not AWS? As a data engineer perspective, we will understand when it comes to the opportunities wise. We will talk about what is the difference between them. We are not going to talk about what it will provide, how it is having the market, and we are not going to worry about that. Okay, so this is what I'm going to talk about today, guys. The what is Google Cloud Platform, the course content, and the projects or case studies that we are covering, and how the opportunities are there for GCP data engineer. And if you wanted to mold your current experience to become a GCP data engineer, what you have to do. And I'm gonna give you time so that you can ask your questions, and I'll give you time so that you can able to tell what is your current experience and all of those things if you have any doubts. And after that, I'll also talk about the difference between the GCP versus Azure versus AWS as well. Okay, so this is all about, guys. And before we start with what is Google Cloud Platform, so I'm going to tell you about me. So before we enter into the very first topic, that is what is Google Cloud Platform, so I'm going to introduce myself, guys. First, my name is Shaik Saidhul. I am currently working as a full-time as solution architect at Contech. I'm also working as a consultant at Databricks. Okay, so I'm a consultant at Databricks as well. I have completed my master's degree from National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli, that is NIT Trichy, and I have total 8 years plus years of experience, 8 plus, I think 8.5 or 8.6, 8.5 years of experience into the data and AI field, guys. So I also teach Azure, I teach GCP, I also teach Databricks. I was teaching the DevOps also. So Azure DevOps, GCP DevOps, Azure Data Engineer, GCP Data Engineer, all of these things. I have also done many certifications in GCP, Azure, and AWS, and I also have a Databricks certification, Python and Terraform certifications also I have it. And I've been teaching this thing from last 2.5 years. I have started GCP Data Engineer from last 1.5 year, and before that I was teaching the Azure, and before that I was teaching the SQL and basic things of SQL and Python. Okay, so this is all about me, guys. Let us see what is actually this Google Cloud Platform. So let me gonna tell you what is actually the Google Cloud Platform so that you guys can understand. And after that, I will also tell you about what is data engineering. So once after that, we will see how the opportunities and everything. So, okay, I might have closed the PPT. Okay. So let us try to understand what is data engineering, everyone. So you might have known about data engineering, but I would like to put it in a very different idea so that you guys can understand it in a very simple way. Okay. So assume that where is the data actually coming from? Let us try to understand where is the data actually coming from. See, we are all humans. We wanted to do some kind of an interaction with an application, right? So for example, you wanted to go out. For that, you're going to be opening the Uber application and you are going to do a transaction there. That's where the data gets generated. You wanted to order a food, you go to the Zomato application. Again, you are doing a application interaction. That's where the data gets generated. And you go to some medical forms or you go to some production forms, you're going to be entering your details in the form of a CSV file or Excel file. That's where the data gets generated. And you are driving a car. In your car, there are plenty of digital equipments will be there. That's where the data generated in the form of a sensor devices or a log formats, right? So you have a data that is coming from multiple applications. The moment you interact with an applications, that is where the data is. Or sometimes you will be having the data that is in the form of an application or a CSV file or a JSON file or a Parquet file or whatever it is. Sometimes there is some backend database such as the MySQL database or a SQL Server database, and you have the data that is coming from some database also. There are some IoT devices such as sensor devices, right? There gets a data also. So sir, we have these many data sources. Okay, we have these many data sources. That is well and good. What is this one, sir? Why we have to worry about these data sources? If you ask me, the companies, the business managers, the business owners think that this data is very important to them. This data is very important to them. So what they try to do is that they want to understand this data. Okay, they ask us to try to understand or analyze this data, so that the moment you do the analysis on top of this data is going to give you some kind of a insights. This data is going to give you some kind of a insights. These insights are very useful for the business improvement. These insights are very useful for the business improvement. So what the business decision makers thinking is that whenever you have a lot of data that is coming from these multiple data sources, if you try to understand the data or analyze the data, that data is going to give you some kind of insights, and these insights are very useful for the business improvement. What is mean by business improvement? Increasing the customer sales, increasing the customer count, improving the customer satisfaction. So all of these things comes under the business improvement. Whenever you are running some business, the main motto for you is that generate more income. So if you wanted to generate more income, you have to come up with a different plans to improve your business. So what the business decision makers will do is that if you wanted to improve the business, you need to have some kind of a insights on the business. Then only you can able to improve the business. So that's where that actually comes from, the understanding the existing data, understanding the customer trend. So how the customers behavior, and what is the customer trend, and what is happening with our products, and how do we improve our products quality or quantity, and all of those things. So that totally depends. Whenever you try to analyze the data properly, that gives you some kind of insights or information to improve your business. So nowadays you might have seen the Flipkart Big Billion Days, isn't it? Similarly, Amazon Great India Sales, right? So these are all comes from these kind of insights only, guys. These are all different techniques. They assume, they think that they might have understand the data properly from the previous years, and they think in the October and September period, these called as a dry period, no one will try to purchase the products. So that's where they come up with a they come up with a idea that if we put a lot of discount on the products on the stock items so that people get attracted to those discounts. So such a kind of a insights, how do you get it? You try to understand the existing data, the previous data. If you try to understand it, that's what it gives you the insights, and that is what you wanted to use it for the business improvement. Not only these insights are very useful for the business improvement. Sometimes if you wanted to understand, are we moving in a correct path or not, as your business is moving in a correct path or not, or if they wanted to take some other decision also, all of these things totally depends on these insights only, these metrics only. So if you wanted to analyze the data, can we directly go for the analysis? Sir, I have the data here, I also have the data here, I also have the data here, we have the data coming from these platforms. Can we directly go for the analysis? We can't just directly go for the analysis. It's because that this application may be running in some server, these files are coming from some different location itself, these databases are running in some other area databases, some regional databases. These IoT devices are coming from different servers, different sources. So what is our very first agenda? That is, we wanted to extract the data. We wanted to think about data ingestion. We call it as a data ingestion. So we ingest the data from these data sources. So you have the data sources, you try to ingest the data into the data lakes. What is this data lake? A data lake is nothing but one of the scalable and secured platform to store entire raw data coming from the data sources. Entire raw data coming from the data sources can be stored in the data lake. So you are going to extract the data, ingest the data into the data lakes for storing the data. This is where you store the data, guys. So that means if you wanted to analyze the data, you need to have the data in a single location. I cannot just have the data in different servers. I can't do the analysis, isn't it? If you wanted to construct a home, you have to have a bricks, you need to have a sand, you need to have a some kind of a equipment. You cannot just construct a home which is all there, all of those equipments are there in different locations. If you wanted to construct a home, you pull everything to a single location where you are constructing the home, right? You bring the material such as the bricks, sand, everything to a location where we are constructing the home, right? Once you have the data in a single location, once we have the data in a single location, can you tell me, can we directly use this data for the analysis? Can you guys guess it? Can we directly use this data for the analysis? We cannot directly use this data for the analysis. It's because that it may be having some kind of a duplicates. This data may be having some kind of a duplicates, maybe having the additional data, maybe having some kind of a unnecessary columns, maybe having some kind of a null values, maybe having some kind of a issues with the data. So the data that is coming from the raw data sources may not be directly usable format, may not be in a directly usable format, because the data that is coming from the applications may be in the JSON format, may be having the duplicates, additional columns, unnecessary data, null value, some other issues. So what is we have to do is that we must fix all of these things before we analyzing the data. Before we analyzing the data, we must fix all of these problems. So that's where we are going to do with a different frameworks such as Spark and Apache Beam are different frameworks. We are going to use it to pre-process the data. So that is can be done in the data processing layer. So this is where we remove the duplicates, we handle the null values, we take care of the data, we remove the unnecessary data, additional columns, all of those issues we are going to take care of it. That's where we are adding some kind of a value to the data. We are enriching the data so that that can be used for the analysis. So once this data is properly cleaned, we are going to send the data to the most of the times for the data warehouses. Most of the time we send the data to the data warehouses, and this warehouses data is very much useful for the downstream, for the BI or the ML RDS are the groups. So what we do, we get the data. This is where we do the analysis, guys. So this is where we do the analysis. The reports that we have done the analysis, right? We create a reports after we done the analysis. Those reports are very useful for the BI or a machine learning or a data scientist or a business groups. Okay, so this is what we do. So you are having multiple data sources, you are having multiple data sync. You read the data, you ingest the data, you store the data, you process the data, you analyze the data, you send the data to this one. And you are creating an end-to-end pipeline here. See, here it is a one of the pipeline. So we are very lazy to make the things manually working because it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money doing the things manually, right? So that's the reason we create a pipeline, so which automatically running in a scheduled fashion to extract the data from these data sources and ingest it into the storing layer. After that, process it, analyze it, and send it to the data warehouses. And then that's where we send it to the Power BI reports or ML models and all of those things. And during this thing, we also ensure that the data is validated properly, data is monitored properly, data is also accurate and complete throughout the system. So for that one, we have a one more important step that is comes under the data governance and monitoring, where we take care of the data quality as well as accuracy and completeness. Data quality is nothing but validating the data, making sure that the data is proper. Okay, so again, that is also comes under our data engineering. So this is what a simple data engineering pipeline looks like, guys, mentioning all of those steps that you are going to work in your company. And also some kind of a things also comes into the picture, such as performance optimization. So if I have to tell you the definition point of view, what is data engineering? Data engineering is a process of collecting the data, organizing the data, preparing the large amounts of the data to be easily used for the analysis purpose. It involves building a systems and infrastructure that data to be captured, stored, processed. That is meant to by pipelines and infrastructure. You need to create a pipelines, right? So the pipelines, all of these things also you need to be maintained properly. Okay, what is a data engineer do, sir, every day? So he may be working on the data ingestion. He will be thinking about what ingestion method we have to follow, how to take care of the ingestion, how do we monitor the ingestion process, and how do we ensure that these ingestion pipelines are running properly. Next thing is that data storage and management. Where do we store the data? Is it a scalable platform or not? Is it able to provide the access control, security, data protection, and all of those things or not? That comes under the data storage and management. One more data engineer may be working on the data processing with the Spark or with the Apache Beam or with the SQL, or different frameworks are there to process the data. And this is where we create a pipelines also, and we ensure the data quality and governance with the different algorithms or different techniques to follow the validations, maybe in the pipeline or maybe in the different checks we are going to run it to ensure the P2 handling or sensitive data handling and all of those things. And we have to create the data pipelines which should be automatically integrating multiple systems, so that it is going to be running in an automated fashion as soon as the data is received at the data sources. And we also work on the one of the important aspect for the data engineers is data optimization or performance optimization. If something is taking a lot of time, or if something is not working out properly well, you have to dig into deeper. You have to understand what is the root cause of it, and you have to find it out to what is the problem here, and you need to find a solution to fix it also. Okay, and you should make sure that all your pipelines or queries or code is running in an optimized fashion, which should not be taking an extra time or extra money or extra effort. And monitoring and maintenance is one of the important activity, again, where we think about whether our pipelines are properly running or not. Is the resources that we have created is enough or not? Is libraries that we have imported, they are properly upgraded or not. So all of those things we have to ensure with the help of the upgrades, patches, versions, all of those things we have to take care of it in the monitoring and maintenance. So this is what is the data engineer do every day, guys. This is what is data engineer do every day. Now you got some idea about the data engineer, isn't it? Right. So you got some idea about the data engineering. Okay. And what is the data engineer do? Now let me gonna talk about the Google Cloud Platform as well. If I wanted to talk about the Google Cloud Platform, I would like to generalize the statement of Google Cloud Platform with other cloud platforms. You might have known about AWS. We might have known about Azure. We also know about the GCP. Some people know about it, some people do not know about it. That's totally fine. Can you guys tell me what are these? So AWS, Azure, and GCP, these are all the three leading cloud providers. What are these cloud providers do? Can anyone tell me what are these cloud providers do? Cloud provides you the cloud computing services. What they do, sir? They provide you the cloud computing services. So AWS, Azure, and GCP, these are all the three leading cloud providers. They provide you the cloud computing services. Sir, what is the advantage of this service? What is the advantage of these services? To tell you in a simple way, to tell you in a simple way, for example, you have 100 terabytes of the data. Can you guys tell me how do you store this data? If I give you some 100 terabytes of the data, can you tell me how do you store this 100 terabytes of the data? Can you guys tell me? Anyone?
We buy the a database and store in
Correct.
server.
So for storing this 100 terabytes of the data, maybe you might have a laptop, but you cannot be able to store 100 terabytes of the data in the laptop. So what I will do? So my laptop is not possible. So I go to the some hardware shop. So I go to some hardware shop. And after that, I will buy some machines or I will purchase some machines. I'll purchase some machine or laptop or hard drive or a hard disk or whatever it is. Maybe some other machine I'm going to purchase it. Once a machine I bought it, maybe some laptop. On top of the laptop, you have to install the operating system and other libraries. On top of this one, you have to take care of the storage assignment. Properly, storage assignment, you have to do it. Storage assign. And if you wanted to take care of the backup, you have to configure the backups also. Once everything is ready, what you do, that's where you go for the storing the data. That's where you take that 100 terabytes of the data and you are going to store it.
What is that
See
store
here.
assignment or something? What is it?
So configuring the storage, right? Making sure that you, for example, you buy a laptop, you will be having some entire 1 TB is given. So you have to dividing into the multiple drives and you are going to manage the things, right? So you have a C drive, D drive, and all of those things. That's what we call as a storage assignment. And again, configuring the backup for the same, if something goes wrong, also we need to configure the backup as well. And that's where you think about storing the data, right? So once you are storing, to store some 100 terabytes of the data, you're doing all of these activities. You're doing all of these activities. So you have to take care of, again, if something goes wrong also, who have to monitor it? You are the person who have to monitor the things. If something goes wrong also, you have to fix it. So what is happening, if you wanted to store 100 terabytes of the data, you are taking a lot of time, and doing all of these things, a lot of effort will also put into the picture. lot of money also you are spending on it. Okay, so if you wanted to do things in an on premises or in a traditional way, what is happening is that you are doing all of these things on your own. To do all of these things on your own, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort and lot of money also. So that's where, if you don't wanted to follow this method, sir, I don't wanted to follow this method because it is a long path to do. So that's where you have, instead of storing this data by purchasing it, you can go for the cloud computing services. What are these cloud computing services? So cloud computing services are provided by the cloud providers. They provide you the cloud computing services. These services are very useful for your project requirement fulfilling purpose. Project requirement fulfilling purpose. So what is mean by that? So if you wanted to store some data, you will be having a separate services provided by them. If you wanted to store some data, or if you wanted to process the data, or if you wanted to analyze the data, or if you wanted to visualize the data, or if you wanted to monitor data governance, if you wanted to take care of it, they are going to provide you for each and every activity. They are going to provide you multiple services. Sir, can you give me example? If you go to Azure for storing this 100 terabytes of the data, can you guys tell me any other service available? For storing this 100 terabytes of the data, you have S3 in AWS. If you wanted to store the same thing, if you go for here, you have ADLS, Azure Data Lake Storage System. If you go for GCP, you have GCS, Google Cloud Storage. So you don't have to do all of these things for storing the 100 terabytes of the data. Simply, you can go to the GCS and you can upload the data. And how much amount of a data you are storing, for that amount of a data, you are going to pay the cost. That's it. The moment you remove the data, the cost will not be associated. The moment you store the data, cost will be there. The moment you remove the data, cost will not be there. So that is how you don't have to wait for time. So to do entire setup, you might have taken 1 week here. Then only after 1 week, you can go and store the data. But for storing this 100 terabytes of the data, hardly 1 hour. Hardly 1 hour. Even not 1 hour is also not required, but hardly 1 hour, I would say. Okay, so what is this cloud computing services now? These cloud computing services are like a rented services. Like if you wanted to, for example, you got a job in Hyderabad, and if you wanted to go and work there, there are two options for you. If you wanted to go and work in Hyderabad, for example, you got a job in Hyderabad. So if you wanted to go and work there, you have two options. One option is you can just buy a land. You can go for construction. You can do your own house construction, then you can stay there. Okay, if you got a job in Hyderabad, if you wanted to stay there, you need to, there are one option that is from the scratch. You can just buy a land, can start construction, and start constructing the house one by one, brick by brick, wall by wall. Then you will be having your house ready. Then you can able to stay there. This entire process takes almost at least 6 months. Can you tell me, do we have any other option other than this? We can just take a rent, right? We can go for rented houses or rented pages, and we can stay there. Tell me, this is taking 6 months. This is how much it will take. It's hardly 1 or 2 days for you to find it. So this is what. So what is this one is that the moment if you wanted to stay there, you can go for, you can go and stay there. Later point of time, if I got a Hyderabad job in the Bangalore also, I can just move easily. Okay, so what is this one is nothing but your cloud provider. This is nothing but your cloud computing services. So cloud computing services are nothing but a rented resources. Rented resources. You are going to rent some resources for some amount of a period, or maybe for year or year, twice, or however, whenever your project is having. So until that project end, you are going to have your resources rented for that. So while you are renting the resources, for storing the purpose, for processing the data, for analyzing the data, for visualizing the data according to your project requirement, whatever you wanted to do, you are going to use these rented resources, nothing but your cloud computing services. Similarly, some other project members may wanted to create, build some application, deploy some application, scale some application, and monitor some application. So whatever they wanted to do it, they can also do it. This is one more project requirement. Or another project requirement can be a machine learning model, ML model building, ML model deploying, ML model registering, ML model usage, whatever it is. So this is how. So another project can be networking project, right? So whatever the project you have it, whether it is a data engineering project or application project or a machine learning project or a data science project or a networking project, whatever the project requirement that you have in your project, can be have a separate services available for each and every cloud platforms. So cloud platforms such as AWS, Azure, and GCP, they are going to provide you the cloud computing services, and these services are very much useful for you to, or for organizations, maybe for not you, maybe for the organizations to fulfill their project requirements. If their project is data engineering, they can go for storing, processing, and analyzing. So they have a plenty of services available here. If I go to the Google Cloud Platform, so I have a plenty of services available here. Okay, so look at here. So I go here. So I, for storing the data, I have a cloud storage. I can able to create a bucket and I can store the data. For analyzing the data, I can use a BigQuery for analyzing the data. For processing the data, I can use Dataproc for processing the data. So multiple services they are providing you. These things are called as a cloud computing services, and these services we are going to use it for our project requirement fulfilling. So this is what is leading cloud providers do, guys. One of such a cloud platform is Google Cloud Platform. So that is what we are focusing on. Okay, so one of such a platform is a Google Cloud Platform. If I wanted to tell you what is Google Cloud Platform, guys, look at here. Google Cloud Platform is one of the leading cloud provider who provides you the cloud computing services which are useful for the organizations to scale the application, build the application, store the data, process the data, all of these things. Okay, so that is what is Google Cloud Platform, everyone, you can see. Google Cloud Platform is a suite of cloud computing services provided by the Google that offers a range of products and solutions to help the organization build, deploy, and scale the applications and services in the cloud. And these services are highly reliable, highly secure, and scalable infrastructure, and it is having the data centers throughout the world. It is having the network and data centers throughout the world. Even in India also we have two data centers for the GCP, that is there in Delhi, one in Delhi. Multiple data centers are there in Delhi. Three zones are there. Delhi is one of the region. Mumbai is also. We have a data centers in Delhi as well as we have a data centers in Mumbai for GCP. Okay, so this is what is Google Cloud Platform, guys. Very simple. It is one of the leading cloud provider, provides you the cloud computing services to build the application, deploy the application, or scale the applications and services in the cloud. And these services are highly reliable, secure, and scalable. And it is having a global network of data centers throughout the world. Okay, so this is what is Google Cloud. So far we have seen what is data engineering, what is Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so let me gonna tell you what we are going to cover. So this is a free seminar. I'm going to tell you guys how the opportunities are there and what you have to grab it. For example, I will tell you about the course content later, maybe. So for example, sir, I have 5 years of, some people will be having 2 years of experience. Some people will be having 5 years of experience. Sorry, 3 years. 3 years of experience. Some people will be having 5 years of experience. Some people will be having 7 years of experience. Some people will be having 10 years of experience. So far, 12 years of experience also. Even though you have any years of experience, what you have to do, I'm going to tell you. Okay, sir, if you wanted to become a GCP data engineer, you can use your existing experience and you can go and learn the course. You can go and learn our course, because in our course we are going to cover the entire content with all the case studies, with all the projects, real-time projects on the batch pipelines. We are going to create the batch pipelines and streaming pipelines, and we will also be covering basic understanding of CI/CD also. And in our pipelines, we are also having industry-made pipelines, guys. These pipelines, when I say project pipelines, these pipelines are industry standard pipeline. So that's where we will be having the loggings, monitoring, and validation, everything. So you guys have to, all of these people, in a generic statement, I'm going to tell you, just if you wanted to, sir, I have this much years of experience, what I have to do. So whoever you are, whether 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 11, 12 years, just go for course. First thing is to learn the course properly with all the things, case studies, content. Okay, I did not told you everything. Content, course content, case studies, projects. Will also be providing you the interview help. That is nothing but interview kit. So that is, it will be having a interview introduction, the project explanations, interview questions also it will be having, and resumes also it will be, we are providing you. So that if you wanted to go for a course, this is a full pack, everything you are going to get it, this entire pack you are going to get it here, guys. First thing, so this entire pack you are having it. So in the course we are covering the entire course content with a having the all the case studies, assignments, project pipelines, batch pipelines, streaming pipelines, CI/CD, and interview questions, interview coding questions, SQL questions, Python questions, interview theoretical questions, and project interview explanation and everything, and resumes also we are providing. Okay, once you have completed the course, you can go for creating your resume. So how do you have to prepare your resume is that, okay, if you wanted to prepare your resume, you have to think about, sir, last this 2 years guy, you can just say last 2 years you have worked on the GCP. You have to mention last 2 years I worked on the GCP. You prepare your resume like this. You prepare your resume like this. So how do you have to prepare the resume? We are providing the resume, so you have to prepare it like this. This guy, again 3 years guy, last 2 years, again this guy also, what they have to mention is that, again you have to mention last 2 years on the GCP, that 1 year whatever the current experience you have it, right, that current experience you can put, and last 2 years again you have to prepare the resume. And 5 years guy, you have to mention last 2.5. Okay, you have to mention last 2.5 years I worked on the GCP, last 2.5. What you have to put? Last 2.5 years on the GCP, last 2.5 years on the GCP you have to put it. Okay, so this one for 7 years guy, last 3 years you have to put it, last 3 years you have to put it, last 3 years you have to put it as a GCP, and you have to prepare the resume like this. And this guy, again last 3.5, these two people go for last 3.5. Okay, so here last 3.5, and here also last 3.5, you have to put it, and you have to prepare a resume, because our course gives you a knowledge of until 3.5 years of experience. Okay, so that is our course will give you the knowledge, guys. So this is how you have to prepare the resume. No one will ask you, so did you really work on it, or they will not go to the company for checking whether you worked in the company or not. Only they will ask you, but they will not check whether you worked on this tool or that tool. They will not work like that. Whether you are an engineer, or you are a software engineer, or a testing engineer, whether you are a production engineer, you are coming from a mechanical background, IT background, non-IT background, whoever you are, if you have a zeal to learn the course, if you wanted to enter into the GCP data engineer, you have to put this experience, and you go for GCP data engineer, because plenty of the opportunities are there. The moment you upload your resume in the Naukri, you will be putting your phone to the shutdown. That many calls you are going to get it. Okay, you are going to get a lot of calls. Even me, with my experience, I have 8.7 years of experience, 8.6 to 8.7 years of experience. Every day I'm going to get the calls. Yesterday also, the day before yesterday also, I had sat for the interview for 2 rounds of interview. And yesterday I supposed to have a 1 round of interview, but that was cancelled. Okay, so even with 8.7 years of experience also, I am also getting the calls. Okay, so that is what I'm telling you guys. So try to prepare your resume accordingly and go and upload your resume to the Naukri. Okay, you have to upload your resume to the Naukri, LinkedIn itself, plenty of the jobs I will show you guys. And LinkedIn, Naukri, and Monster. So these three portals, if you are applying it, at least 30 interviews you are going to sitting. At least 30 interviews. If you are not able to crack at least one interview also, that means you are not preparing well. If you are not preparing well, then you will not be able to crack at least one interview also. 30 interviews. No course, no role will give you this many interviews. I'm telling you guys. GCP data engineer, one of the highly trending job, one of the highly hard job nowadays. I'm telling you, 30 interviews, at least one offer. When one company, if you crack it also, you will be becoming a GCP data engineer out of 30 interviews. For sure 30. For sure 30 in 2 months. 2 months, you will be having 30 calls. Okay, some people are getting it in within 5 to 6 companies interviews itself, they are getting the offer letter. Okay, so that is how people are able to crack the 3 to 4 offer letters also. We have seen that in our previous students, 3 to 4 offer letters also they are able to crack it. If you go for the Naukri, you should be able to see it. Look at here, GCP data engineer, GCP data engineer 428, GCP data engineer 428, GCP data engineer. Wherever it is GCP data engineer. So plenty of the jobs are there for GCP data engineer. Whatever the course content that is required, we are going to cover it. Don't worry about the course content. I will talk about it. Okay, so that is what. Okay, you can see here Google Cloud, Airflow, Cloud Data Engineering, GCP, BigQuery Data Flow. All of these things we are going to cover. Okay, I will show you in few minutes the course content. Okay, so they're expecting 3 to 4. So the package is also very much in demand, guys. I'm telling you, very highly high demanded skill. So the demand for the GCP data engineers are very good, but the very less professionals available. Very less professionals available. If you go for Azure and AWS, right? If you go for Azure and AWS, for example, if you so think like this, so you, instead of you AWS, instead of GCP, you went for Azure and AWS course, and you might have learned the course here. And when you go for an interview, for every job, at least 20 people to 30 people will be having a 20 to 30 people will be in the competition. And these 20 to 30 people are not like you, they did not learn the course, they are the actual professionals. Competing with the actual professionals is very hard, because AWS and Azure is already market which is already settled. Plenty of the already working professionals are also there. If you are going learning some course like AWS data engineer and Azure data engineer, getting the job becomes very difficult, because you are competing with these skilled professionals who are already working in the company. Okay, but GCP is not like that. For GCP, the manpower is very less, because it is very new, very new leading cloud provider, very new cloud provider. When it is new, if you are going for an interview, the persons like you who learned the course, they will only come for the interview. There are no skilled professionals. You don't see a person who is having 3 years of experience in the GCP. I was the one having 4.5 years of experience. Very rarely you will see a person who is having 3 years of experience on the GCP in India,
Why?
because there's no GCP. People does not know about in India about the GCP at that time. 3 years ago, did you heard about GCP? No, right? So very rarely, because from last 3 to 4 years only GCP was in the trending. But before that, no one knows about it. In India, especially, maybe in other countries, the GCP was there from last 5 6 years. Okay, so that is what. So no one know heard about it. No one actually was not there to teach it also. And how come people will know and learn the course and they will go for the job? You will not be having such kind of a thing. So but now that is the reason what is happening with the AWS and Azure is that GCP is very famous for the data engineering projects. GCP become a very good market for the data engineering, especially in the banking, finance, and healthcare industries. GCP is one of the highly, uh, you know, I mean, large amount of data engineering services it is providing. One more thing, and the service cost is also comparatively AWS and Azure it is very low. So that's the reason most of the companies are actually using the GCP nowadays, but the skilled persons are very less. So the main aim of this particular course is that so you can just learn this course and you can go easily get the job comfortably, very simply you can able to get it if you are putting some effort. If you are putting some effort and if you are showcasing the confidence and knowledge, that's it. No one will stop you to get the job because very plenty of the calls you are going to get it for the GCP data engineer. So that's how. And you will not be having much competition also. You'll not be having much competition. So compared to the AWS and Azure, the competition I would say it is almost 5 to 10% only. But here almost 60 to 70% of the candidates are already professionals. And if you're going for an interview, 60 to 70% of the competition will be there. And all are skilled persons only, already working professionals. And you cannot be able to compete with them. So the thing is that if you wanted to get the job, GCP's data engineer is one of the easy way to get the job. And for sure, for data engineering projects, GCP is future, I would say, from my end. Yeah. So this is how, if you wanted to make yourself get into the GCP data engineer, whatever's your experiences, so this is what you have to do. Okay. Yeah. Sir, what is the course content that we are going to cover if you ask me? So our course content includes everything almost. So I'm going to open here the course content. This notes also I will share it with you guys once you guys may be enrolled for the course. So this is how it is. Google Cloud Data Engineering training with the real world projects and case studies. We start with the GCP Cloud Basics. We'll talk about GCP introduction. We will be talking about GCP interfaces, Cloud Shell SDK, GCP locations, GCP IAM and admin, Linux basics. We are covering Linux basics also. We are covering the Python for data engineers. So very much a topic, very important topic, Python for data engineers. We are covering the Python also here. And we are entering into the GCP data engineering tools. Cloud storage, Cloud SQL, BigQuery. Cloud storage, Cloud SQL, BigQuery. Dataproc, PySpark development we are going to learn here. Databricks and Google Cloud Platform, we are learning the Databricks and GCP. We are learning the data flow also. This is data flow. This is data flow. And this is PubSub. We are learning the PubSub. We are learning the Airflow, nothing but a composer. We are learning the data fusion. We are learning the cloud functions. We are learning the basics of the Terraform also. And by the end of the course, we are expecting our professional students to be attaining the knowledge of proficient in SQL development, PySpark development skills, Apache Beam development for the data flow, DAG creations in the composer, notebooks, workflow creations, end-to-end pipelines with the Databricks, architecture planning, certification readiness. Okay, so the course will empower the students with practical knowledge in the SQL, PySpark, and Apache Beam and DAG creations and architecture planning, ensuring that they are well prepared to tackle the real-world data engineering challenges and successfully obtain the GCP certifications also. Okay, so let me gonna show you how the course content, how that it looks like. For example, let me start with the cloud basics. So this is how. This is a notes, guys. I'm going to share it with you. For example, look at here. This is what we start with the cloud basics. And after that, in this one, we will call about interfaces, locations, console walkthrough, IAM and admin. All of these things we are going to cover. And after that, we will see how do we create a free tier account in the GCP. So account creation is one of the important step, because everything we are going to see in the Google Cloud platform and practically implement the lab sessions and implementations, projects, case studies, everything we are going to cover here only. So that's the reason I will tell you how to create a free tier account in the GCP. You don't have to pay anything. Okay, you don't have to pay anything, hardly 2 rupees only. So you don't have to pay anything here. That I'm going to tell you. So how do we install the SDK? So that step is covered, installing the SDK. Linux basics. So the Linux basics we are covering here, guys. Okay, so Linux basic commands. And after that, we will be covering the GCP data in GCS, Google Cloud Storage. What is Google Cloud Storage? How do we create a bucket in the Google Cloud Storage, and note. And command, with the help of the command line tool, how do we create the cloud shell? I mean, how do we create the cloud storage buckets in the cloud shell or cloud SDK? So if with the help of the commands, if you wanted to create the bucket, these are the things. Okay, so from the local machine to the GCS. And assignments, for every service you will be having the assignments also. You can also go and check it out. You have to complete that. Cloud SQL. Cloud SQL, what is Cloud SQL? So how, what is the architecture of the Cloud SQL? Connecting it to the Cloud SQL instances from the multiple methods. Data engineering project in the Cloud SQL. We are covering the database migration project. So this is one of the database migration project from the on-premises MySQL to the Cloud SQL MySQL. This is one of the database migration project that we are covering. Sample data and assignment. So you will be having assignments here also. And the next one is BigQuery. What is BigQuery? What is the architecture of the BigQuery? What are the limitations of the BigQuery? Working with BigQuery, hierarchy, different ways of creating the tables in the BigQuery, table creations from the editor, Cloud Shell, Cloud SDK, and from different tools also. Okay. Working with arrays. So this is one of the important things. So most of the people struggle to work with arrays in the BigQuery. We are going to have a specific, an entire topic on the how do we work with the different tables in the BigQuery. 1 minute, guys. Okay, you get here. So we will be working with the different scenarios on the arrays, different JSON format files. How do we work with those things? We are going to cover here. Okay, simple JSON, JSON with schema, JSON with string, JSON with string plus list. All of these different methods we are covering. Nested fields and repeated fields in the BigQuery. Partitioning and clustering. Assignments. Case study 1. So this is case study 1. Case study 2. And views. Normal view, materialized view, authorized views. Python. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4. Chapter 1, data types. Chapter 2, data types, data structures. Chapter 3, if and else statements, loops, for loop and while loop, exceptional handling, file input, output operations, functions and classes. And data proc. So what is Hadoop? Introduction to the Hadoop, introduction to the Spark. What is Spark and architecture? What is data proc? Use cases and creating the multiple clusters in the data proc, and understanding what is data frames and how do we read the data from the multiple data sources like CSV, JSON, Parquet, BigQuery, Avro, text files, MySQL tables, BigQuery tables, writing it to the multiple destinations and transformations. All of these transformations we are covering. And when we are creating the cluster, how do we create the cluster? Lab sessions, introduction file, reading the data file, all of these notebooks, guys. These are all multiple notebooks. Case study 1, this is one of the important case study. Case study assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3, end-to-end batch pipeline. So this is what we have an end-to-end batch pipeline also. So in this end-to-end batch pipeline, if you look at it actually, guys, so everything will be there. So it is an industry standard pipeline only. We will be having setting up the logging also. You can see we were also taking care of the what we call is a exceptional handling. So creating a Spark session, and we are defining the functions to read the data from the BigQuery, defining a function. So this is what we call as a, in a company also they will be do all of these things. Function to copy the data from this thing, and the main function to orchestrate your pipeline. All of these things, and this is an industry standard pipeline that we are creating. You can see, and this is how we follow. This is again here also, if you go to the case study, you will also be having case study, sample data, all of these things also, architectures. And again, if you go to the data flow, what is data flow, how it is different from the data proc, all of these things we are covering, and everything. Spark versus Beam, data flow versus data proc, lab sessions again. Introduction file, okay, extract, transform and load, sample data sets, use case one of the e-commerce transaction processing use case with the, you can also see here, reading the data, validating your each transactions, logging and handling the invalid, calculating this one, doing the transformations, monitoring your pipeline also. Okay, so we are automating that pipelines also. Assignments, this is an assignment for you to do it. Template method of creating the pipelines, end-to-end streaming pipeline. And PubSub, what is PubSub? How do we work with PubSub? How can we use the PubSub for streaming data ingestion? Airflow, what is Airflow? What is a workflow orchestration? What is architecture of the Airflow? What is DAG? What is, how do we create the DAG? Cron job format, create composer, level 1 DAG, level 2 DAG, level 3 DAG, level 4 DAG. These are multiple use cases you can think of. Level 1 DAG is a one use case for BigQuery jobs. This is for data proc job. This is for data flow jobs. This is for your parent and child dog. And this is an assignment for you and implementing a CI/CD here. So we are implementing a CI/CD with the help of the GitHub Cloud Build and your Cloud Composer. Okay, so that is something. Data Fusion. What is Data Fusion? End-to-end pipeline in the Data Fusion. What is Cloud Functions? Use Cloud Functions, Cloud Function use case 1, Cloud Function use case 2. Terraform, what is Terraform and how do we create an infrastructure with the help of the Terraform? So no notebook, I mean, this is code, right? The code is zipped here. And Databricks, finally. What is Databricks? Setting up the workspace in the Databricks. What is Unity Catalog? What is clusters? Different types of clusters and modes. Notebooks, notebook basics, DB utilities commands, delta tables. What is delta lake? What is delta lake table? The advanced features of the delta lake tables, dataset creation, structured streaming, autoloader, medallion architecture, end-to-end workflow. So everything is covered, guys. So if you wanted to get a job, all of those things, industry standard pipelines that we are covering, guys, so that you guys can able to easily answer the questions in the interview, so that even though they are asking scenario based questions also, with this knowledge you should be able to answer it. That is one thing. And when you are working in the company also, you should be familiar with all of those concepts because we are covering here. Okay, so that is what is an agenda. So I have told you the course content. Once the course is completed, this is where you can come for the resume templates. The resume templates are also zipped here. You can also download it. You can create your zipped resume templates. Interview introduction. So you will be having interview introduction. How do you tell your introduction? What is your project explanation? The architecture. Project 2 explanation, project 2 architecture. So that you can just explain the same thing in the interview. You don't have to again write something and read something, prepare something for that. Interview project 1, project 2 explanation. Data engineering theoretical questions. BigQuery, each and every service. These are the commonly asked theoretical questions. SQL questions. SQL coding, Python coding questions. Certifications, certification dumps, and one of the complementary project. I'm also doing one more thing, project 3, that will also I will provide it to you as a complimentary. I will create that as a video. I will also share it to you guys. I'm also building, almost it is completed. Okay, that will also I will share it to you guys. So this is how the entire things. What else you need it? The course content, the resumes, interview kit, and data engineering interviews kit, and interview preparation kit, coding questions, certification dumps. Everything is provided in the course. Okay, so now tell me, guys, if anyone have any questions. If anyone have any questions, you can ask me.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, please. Yeah, please.
If you don't mind, so could you please let me know, like, what is this course duration and what about the fee
Yes,
structure?
correct. So the course duration, guys, will take 2.5 months duration, right? Duration 2.5 months. It would take little bit more also, 5, maybe 1 or 2 days extra. 2.4 months, 5 months, and the daily 1 hour session. We will be starting these sessions in a week. Within a week, we are going to start it. You can connect with our admin. We are starting daily 1 hour, Monday to Friday. Okay, we do not have
Okay.
sessions on the Saturday and Sunday. No sessions on Saturday and Sunday. And live sessions 1 hour daily. Live sessions only. And one more thing, the fee. The fee is 12K. Okay. And any other things I'm missing?
Daily at what time?
And one more thing.
Timings.
After the
Timings,
course,
right?
can you
Yeah.
provide all those videos?
The recordings, yes. The timings is, yeah, I'll tell you that. So
Okay,
the
okay. Thank
timings
you.
is
Thank
same thing. That is 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Recordings are provided to you on the daily basis itself. Okay. Recordings are
thank you.
provided to you on the daily basis, so that you will be having at least 1 year validity. 6 months to the 1 year validity will be there for the recordings. Okay. I believe for sure they are providing it. Okay. So that is also provided. And
Sure.
whatever the material I have shown, I am going to share you the material and all the projects covered, case studies covered, and assignments and real-time pipelines, batch pipelines, streaming pipelines. Finally, interview plus resume kit. Okay, all of these things are provided. I hope this is clear.
Sir, this is not a morning batch. This is a evening batch.
Correct. It's going to be the evening batch. It's a evening batch. Yes, it's going to be the evening. The next batch is going to be the evening. After that, once the morning batch is also, already there. It is. We just started the morning batch. I guess 15 days. Last 15 days. Okay. I think almost some 10 sessions completed. I think 10 sessions, 2 week sessions completed. If you are interested to join our morning batch also, you can just connect with our admin. They will just directly add it to you, the morning batch. Okay. So if you, because 10 sessions is very less, you should be able to easily cover it because most of the things are basics only. So if you wanted to directly join our morning batch, you can directly join it because it is currently going on, and you can connect with our admin, get the recordings, and try to watch it. And from Monday onwards, you can able to regularly attend. Okay,
Also,
so that is
when
how.
will the fresh batch start? Morning fresh batch.
Morning fresh batch, it will take at least 2 months because every batch will start after 2.5 months, right? So this is already just started 15 days only, right? After 2 months, it will start morning batch.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. The next batch that is for the evening, that is going to be start in one or 1.5 week, within 1 week or 1.5 week. That means hardly 10 days we are going to start it. So for that one, we are having the seminar today. Okay, yeah. Within 10 days we are planning. So before those 10 days, you can enroll for the course, you get the prerequisite, you can able to just ask for any other things, the prerequisite. If you wanted to do any of the things, you can able to. This is to let you know that there's a course happening in 10 days, so that you guys can be ready for the course, so that you, if you wanted to plan for the course, you can able to plan it. Okay, yeah. I think mostly from the last week of the month we are going to start it, or maybe the 1st of October. You can just think of like 1st of November it is going to be getting started. Yes. Any other questions, anyone? Okay. So this is it. I just wanted to let you know everything. And for sure, I'm telling you guys, there's a plenty of opportunities. Even the layoff period also, people are recruiting the GCP data engineers like anything. So that's the very much a demand for the GCP data engineer, I will say. Okay, so it will be there very much demand for the GCP data engineer. If you are planning it properly, just plan it. Even the course will also take a lot of time, right? You have to take it as soon as possible. You can just join the course if you are planning to enter into the GCP data engineering. And if you are having other plans, it's your wish. Okay, I'm just telling you there is a course here like this. Yeah. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Any questions, anyone, please?
Yes, sir. I have a question. So, uh, you're gonna start the batch by Monday, or it's still gonna be a demo class?
No, there will be going to be demo class again. The same kind of a demo class will be there to let you know everything, and it will be after 1 week. Okay.
Okay, and
Yeah.
the timing is gonna be on 9 p.m. or still
Correct.
on 10 a.m.
No, no, no. For that
9
time, the timings for the demo classes will be on 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay. Yeah. This is just a seminar kind of an activity where we are just covering about, if you guys have any questions, you can ask and all of those
Okay,
things. In the demo sessions, we will be like, first session will be similar to kind of a thing. Second session onwards, it will be like a topics only, real time course we are going to start it. Okay.
okay, sir. Okay,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys, I think this is it for today. And if you guys have any questions related to your job or how do you have to plan it, you can ask me. And if you wanted to personally talk with me also, you can connect with our admin. They will connect with me so that we can also talk personally. Okay, so that is also there. And yeah, all the best, guys. Keep learning. All the best for your future endeavors. Hopefully, we will see in our next demo. Yeah.
So the evening timing 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. it will be changed means after.
No, no, no. The batch timings are same. Okay. Maybe just we will just start maybe for 9:05 or 9:10, but the timings are for sure 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's
Uh,
it.
Well,
The
because
block is
office going guys, it will difficult because if it early before 9 p.m.
no, 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 no. It will be mostly it will be like 9:05 or 9:10 we will start, 10:10 we will close. So that's how
Oh,
because sometimes we will be some people I mean I may be joining 5 minutes later, something like that, but for sure that is the time that we are going
oh,
to after 9 we are going to start.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, anyone? Okay. Okay, guys, think about it. You have time. This is the seminar is to let you know that you have the time and you can plan it accordingly. And if you have anything, the current ongoing things, if you wanted to take care of it and by the before the course start itself, you can also manage it accordingly. And make sure that you are planning it properly, whether this course or whether whatever the course you are planning it, take a proper agenda, try to understand the course content, what is the outcome that you are going to expect. Once you have taken a proper decision whether this course or any other course, you can take it properly. Okay, if you wanted to talk with me personally, also connect with our admin. They'll help me to connect with you guys. We can talk personally as well. Okay. Okay, guys, thank you all. Have a great day. Bye bye. Have a great weekend, guys. Everyone, thank you. All the best.
Thank
Keep
you, sir.
learning, guys. Yeah.